Hello, I'm Emmeline Ensley, and in this tutorial we will cover Report Designer version 2 templates. After installing Report Designer, you will see a new ribbon in Excel, Report Designer. Here you will be able to download templates that we have designed for you. A template is an Excel file that has been set up with the Report Designer data model behind the scenes. We have two main types of templates, report templates. These will be analysis, billing, and year-to-year. These have reports already built into them. You can use and you can customize. You can also create your own templates under Custom. Here we have bills, bill lines, place rollup, and cost center rollup. These have all the info you need to be able to create your own reports. Technically, Get Started is also a template. It has the data model and a couple of reports and a couple of calculations built into it. So I'm going to show that first. When you download a template, it will ask you where you want to save it, and then it will open it up for you. Make sure to enable content when downloading the template. I highly recommend walking through this tutorial. It gets you acquainted with our templates, how to pull in your data, and how to use slicers. On the Reports tab, you can look for a report that's in the application in EnergyCap, and you can find how to get it in Report Designer. So let's say we want to see AN13. We can choose Analysis Reports, and then we could choose AN13, and this will filter the table below. We'll see the information that's in the application, and then we'll also see how to get this report in Report Designer. We'll use the Analysis template on the Building Rankings tab, and here it tells you which slicers to set to get this report. So this is an incredibly useful tool if you're trying to find a specific report in Report Designer. Now let's walk through the rest of the templates. As we mentioned, the first template is Analysis. This is the Analysis template. On the first tab, we have Summary by Calendar Year. This shows trends grouped by month and by year. You can choose a summary field to change which calculation you want to see. Now you can see that the report is showing use global instead of cost. If we switch tabs, the next one is Summary by Fiscal Year, which will look the same as Summary by Calendar Year because this fiscal year begins in January. However, if your fiscal year begins on a different month, it will look different. Following that, we have Building Rankings. Building Rankings shows your place code, your place name, and then the rank by whichever summary field you have selected. So let's choose Cost. You can see the places have been updated, and now they are ranked by the building with the highest cost, in this case, the 2 steam plants. We also show the floor area, the cost, and the use, regardless of whichever summary field you select. The Meter Rankings tab is very similar to the Building Rankings tab, but instead groups your report by meter instead of building. And lastly, in the Analysis template, we have the Use and Cost by Commodity tab. This will first show your top 5 commodities by cost, and has the cost percentage as well as the energy use percentage. In the table below, we have each commodity, their common usage, use per area, and unit costs, and then their energy use per area, and unit costs, as well as their cost and cost per area. And that covers the Analysis template. Next, we're going to walk through the Billing template. The first report in this Billing template is the Missing Bills report. This counts the number of bills in each period, grouped by vendor, account, and meter, And then if there is one bill, we'll show a green check mark. No bills will show as a red circle, and more than one bill will show as a yellow triangle. This is really helpful if you're quickly looking for which accounts and meters are missing bills. Next, we have account summary. This has your account information, then your cost center information, and then your vendor information, and then month and year, the number of bills in that period, the number of days in that period, the cost, and the cost per day. On the meter summary tab, we have your meter information, your commodity information, and then your serial number. After that, we have the period, and we have the usage, units, cost, demand if there is any, use unit cost, demand unit cost, number of days, use per day, and cost per day. And lastly, we have batch summary. You'll have your batch code, your user code, the total cost of the batch, and the number of bills in that batch. Now let's walk through the year-to-year template. First, we have the monthly comparison. This compares a month for between 2 years. So you can see we're comparing 2015 and 2016 and shows the comparison over the prior year. You can choose to show common units or global units. Again, common units are going to be for one commodity. So if you choose common units, you'll need to select a commodity. Next, we have the yearly comparison tab. Here, we'll see the total by whichever summary field you have selected, in this case, cost, and the percent difference of the last year over the prior year. So let's go ahead and remove 2017, since 2017 is not complete yet. Now the percent difference is comparing 2016 to 2015, and you can see the change over the prior year. On the period trend tab, you can select periods, and it will show all of them and highlight the highest and the lowest. Again, you can choose which summary field you wish to see. On the Building Report tab, you can choose a place and then see by commodity, by year, and by month what the cost, use, and demand and unit cost were for that commodity in that place. Lastly, we have a heat map. This shows usage, cost, and demand, and shows each month along the columns and each year along the rows. The values are highlighted, gradiated. For the lower values are going to be green and your higher values will be orange. This can help you spot check and see where your highest spending and highest usage or demand are. Now let's walk through one of the custom templates. We have 4 custom templates. First is bills. This will probably be the template you use the most. The 3 templates that we have reports in, the 3 we just walked through, analysis, billing, and year to year, are all based off of this bills template. Next, we have bill lines. This pulls in each line of all your bills. This can get really huge, especially if you have a lot of bills. We recommend when using this template that you only pull in 1 year of data. Otherwise, it may take a very long time to load and be inefficient when you try to add filters or slicers. Next, we have place rollup. This has your bill data summarized by commodity and place. And lastly, we have cost center rollup, which has your bill data summarized by cost center and commodity. Both of these last 2 will be a bit faster than using a bill template. However, they are lacking in fields. Neither of them will have any account or meter information, and since the bills are being summarized before being brought in, the bill-specific filters such as void status or bill source won't be included. Now let's look at the bill's custom template. Again, always enable content. When you download one of the custom templates, the first tab you'll come to is Data Info. This has all the information about the data that's in the template that you can use to create your own reports. First, you will see the available summary fields. These are going to be your numbers. First, we have cost, direct and proportional. Then we have demand, demand actual, and demand billed. Following that, we have floor area, and then 3 types of usage: common, global, and native. After that will be all of your per area calculations: cost per area, demand per area, use per area. And then you can see your unit costs, so demand unit costs and use unit costs. Number of days in the period, followed by your per day calculations: cost per day, use per day, and then annualized numbers: annualized cost, use, and per area annualized values. In the middle, we have available unit fields. When you create your own pivot table, you will add the available summary fields to the values column. To allow you to show the units side by side with the summary fields, we've created these as calculations as well. For each unit, we have a unit code and a unit name. And for each value in the summary fields, we have an available unit field. And lastly, over here, you'll see the available tables and columns. First, you'll have the table name, and then all of the columns that are available in that table. Now that you have all the information to create your own pivot table, you can go to one of the 3 tabs, create a pivot table, which will have a regular pivot table in there, create a flattened pivot table, has a flattened pivot table, and create a pivot chart. And that covers the templates in Report Designer.